Hey, I am in my game room and hoping you can see me. Recently, I released a video in which I went over a couple of tables for my members only. Like once a month, I put out for the people who basically give me a couple of bucks. As a thank you, I put out a video that they vote on, and they get to choose what the topic is. And last time it was how to analyze a table. So I'm going to do that with you guys as well. For one table I've set up, there's going to be a test game, and I'm going to talk you through how I approach and analyze a table. That's it. And this is the table. So let's see if I can get a shot of that all the way. Yep, that is basically the table. So we have this road running down through the length of it, although there is a buzz blocking the road in the center. We have a couple of buildings here. Some of them are ruins. There's a ruin over there. So it's like a main street that's been shot up a bit, and there are some linear obstacles that is more or less the backyards of these places. We have a few forested areas. And then the only thing I'm still not sure of is I have a pile of stuff here that's going to go on the table, and you guys can shout at me in the comments where it needs to go. Potentially here, there's something lacking here, right? That part of the table, maybe that part of the table. So, right. So the setup is almost done. How do I approach this table? Well, the first thing I look at is I'm looking at where would I want to deploy, because I always look for line of sight blockers, and there's like a beautiful spot down here in this area, right? You get a line of sight blocker that way, a couple of woods down further along that flank. So this spot right here, that could be a good place, as could it behind this building here or behind this ruin. So basically, if I got this side over here, I think this area here would be my main deployment zone. I'm always looking for places to go where the enemy cannot see me and shoot me at range. Now, how to move up through the table? Well, that depends on what I'm playing, right? Land grab. The best thing would actually be to move behind these buildings, going that way over there, ending up somewhere over there, because that is a little bit too open. If it's objectives, you're going to have to go out and grab those wherever the objectives are, right? But this would be a perfect place to go for both of that. You could diagonally cross the table, push up that way, behind buildings, using those as cover, or you could push them up and exit out to where you need to go to the objectives. So I also think that this central bit here is really good, because there's a lot of line of sight blockers. We have a ruin here, we have a ruin there, we have a building there, we have a building there, and then we have this huge bus, which doesn't block completely, but does block the road. So that is pretty nifty. So if I could push up some infantry to dominate the center of the board, that I think would be beneficial. Could I use these woods? Yeah, sure. But there is a bunch of lines of sight down through all of this here, which makes artillery dangerous in that position over there, because it could shoot all the way down here. I'm going to the other side. Right, from this side, where would I want to deploy? I think, again, this area here. We have some line of sight blockers over there. We have some cover here with these linear obstacles. Some of these hedges are very tall. And there's line of sight blockers in the ruin and the house and that house. And then I could get some block line of sight here, and that would actually give me a push way that way. Now, that would be dangerous from that angle. The shots coming in. So again, artillery positions there, artillery positions here could be dangerous. What about this corner here? I'm not as interested as the other corner, again, because the the line of sight blockers are a bit further away. So if I was to pick a quarter, it would be that quarter. If I get to pick sides, I'll take that side, deploying most of my army over there, normally, right? I am looking for those line of sight blockers that I can move around and work around. Now, we do have a large section here that's pretty good, and if I could push my army up to that, depending if I could push him away from that area over there, I need something that can shoot that way. So potentially I would want my big guns, my artillery or my tanks to be looking down that route so that I could push him away from that and then push my infantry up towards the center where they usually need to go, right? So that, I think, is a good position. Is it a good position to have something here shooting all the way down there? Nah, it's not, because there are lots of line of sight blockers. Yeah, I'll get a shot straight down that route there, straight along the road, but that's only one shot. I could put an ambush piece here, like an AT gun or a machine gun or an AA gun, but it'll be only that one line, right? Because it'll be blocked there, it'll be blocked there, it'll be blocked there. That will block it a bit, that will block it, and that will. So there are lots of places where you can stay in the shadow of these lines of side blocking pieces of terrain. What if I get this quarter over here? Ooh, that is actually not bad at all, right? So if we're playing quarters, this quarter here gives me a lot of line of sight blocker that I can push my army up against. And there's very little he can do about it. I actually might want to take this quarter if I could play quarters. I don't. I like this quarter better for if I have the whole back line, but simply because it's very easy for the enemy to push up here and take shots down this route, right? But if I'm playing quarters, that ruin, that house, and that house will be an anchor point where I can push up to the houses, I can stay behind the houses here, and then I can push out whichever way I need to go. I can even push my tanks into this and sit there in hard cover. Or I can push, supporting tanks over here. I could take a rush from this bush that way into that, sit here. That will at least cover that area over there. That is going to be a problem. What if I end up in this sector here? Oh, that is very open. I am hoping I have a lot of line of sight shooting. Yeah, that is bad. In order to balance this table out a bit, I think I'm going to have to turn that forest here. But basically get what I'm saying, right? If I have a lot of line of sight this way, so for a gunline army, this would be an ideal position where you can sit and shoot, except that bit there, those three buildings, the ruin, the house, they're a problem, right? They are a problem, and that, I think, is going to be the main focus of whatever happens on this table. Yeah. So that is how I read the table. I hope you guys got something from that. I'll do this every time I move up to a table at a tournament. I'll do this. I'll think about, where's the line of sight blockers? Where do I want to go? Why do I want to go there? What movement potential is there? What will happen if we're playing quarters? What will happen if we're playing, regular long side missions? Yeah. That is it for me today. I'll just change this table up a little bit to make it more fair, and then I'm ready for my test game. See you next time. Cheers.